And maybe he found that refreshing. Maybe some of the people there did, and necessary. So the Sanctuary of Truth, you need to look it up on Google. It was magnificent, and the pictures can't even begin to show how beautiful it was. And that was where I did most of my photography. I wanted to make a coffee table book, but someone stole all my photographs and negatives, and everything actually, finally. And anyway, okay. So the Sanctuary of Truth and that beach, there was my roommate. Her upper half of her body, her arms in the air, and she's looking at her waist. You can just imagine she's watching the sword cut through her as they cut her in half. And it was just half of her body on the beach. And they would talk about burning me up and lighting me up and stuff like that on that beach. This heroin manufacturer, the biggest heroin manufacturer in the Golden Triangle at the time, when they were the biggest producers of opium and heroin in the world. I went there every 4 months for a few years and never got in any trouble. And then this guy that I met at the Dallas airport, this Thai pilot, beware, don't ever go to the pilot bar or pilot gas stations at night. Remember Pilate in the Bible, Pontius Pilate? It's very important. You do remember that. Anyway, so I got involved with this Thai pilot. He called me at my guest house that I always stayed at when I went to Thailand. He called me on the third day. I was there, and he says, "You want to go to the beach in your bikini, or do you want to go to a ranch and ride some horses?" And I said, "Go to a ranch," because I didn't want to be in a bikini around a stranger. And so we went to this ranch, and up rides this Austrian and this Tasmanian, just like the Tasmanian devil in the cartoon. They came riding up, and it was just this ball of fear, a ball of energy of, they were, I don't know, everything in me said run, but instead of running, I ordered a stronger drink, a scotch double. I think I ordered a couple more. Anyway, they dosed me, and one day, after that, I went back after that. It was like two of the four horsemen of the apocalypse came riding up, and it was a lot. That's the best way to describe it. It wasn't anything I'd ever experienced before. The fear and the energy and and you couldn't understand what they were saying with those accents, And anyway, so there I got involved with a heroin manufacturer, and I met the biggest opium grower, a drug lord, a warlord from Burma, which is now known as I can't believe it, Myanmar. And he had his own army, his own government actually, had everything. And he was like the richest man in the area, in the country. The king was the richest. And this guy, because the king was the richest, at the time he was the richest king and the longest ruling king in the world. And he was like super, super nice, even though, so don't ever be prejudiced of rich people.